Hey, what's up, fam? Been really looking forward to getting to this review of Goblin Slayer Episode 1. I meant to do it yesterday, but instead I had to do a response video on some of the comments that it was getting on Twitter, and I had to say they were pretty funny. There are a lot of people crying and whining about it being dark and and like graphic and real gory, but I don't know if people understand this is when you go into a series that's dark and graphic and gory, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Do you expect every single series to be like glitter and flowers? I mean, come on. It's silly. It's very silly. But, whatever. Anyway, the episode is pretty solid. It followed the manga very accurately. I think the only thing that was really kind of cut were very short, like little flashbacks from the characters who were killed very quickly, just kind of like showing some of their stuff, like the sorcerer chick that remembered like the when she got that staff and like how important it was to her, and then the goblin breaks it and she gets stabbed and poisoned. But a lot of the something that I noticed that there's some good amount of a fair amount of CGI in it, and the CGI looked good. It actually looked very very well kind of flowing into the episode. If you're not paying too much attention, like you're just kind of lost in the show itself, you probably won't even notice that much of it. You'll probably just kind of be seeing as things go on, and I thought that was pretty good about it. Now, the episode itself, ignoring the fact that I've read most of the manga of the main series and the two spin-offs, I think that it's a very entertaining series in a lot of ways. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh my God, it's so edgy." I don't think people understand what makes something edgy anymore. It's just a realistic look on certain things that would happen in like an RPG kind of fantasy world, especially when you have lots of like low level people who are going into stuff like this underestimating their opponents, and high level people that are just like, that's not worth my time, I'm not going to go do anything with that. And that's what kind of leads up to the whole stuff with someone like the Goblin Slayer, where he specializes in this because he actually knows what he's doing, he actually pays attention, and you get a lot of dead people because people. So there's something like I think that kid from the first episode is a very good example of some dude who's just like, goblins are gonna be easy. I'm gonna kill dragons one day. I'm gonna be great, and then you see him swing his sword around in this cave and not take into account, hitting stuff like the ceiling and losing his grasp on his blade, and that inevitably being the thing that kind of screws him over. And it's something the Goblin Slayer takes note of too. And actually, there's a later character I remember who's a great sword user who gets teased by somebody in his group because he can't really do a whole lot in a cave when you have a sword that's way too big. And it's that realism aspect to it I think is really good when you not only do you have the kind of characters with their responses like that, and they're making very poor decisions, and you see it when in the very beginning when they're like, yeah, we're gonna kill goblins, it's gonna be super quick and easy, it'll be like nothing, and you see the guild lady, who she hands out all the quests and stuff, just that look on her face, she's like, well, there's a few more people not coming back, because she knows that it happens all the time. It just seems like a regular thing at that point. These people just go out and they completely underestimate who they're fighting, and then the goblins end up getting the snap on them. So kind of looking at that, I like the realism of kind of like a D&D game or an RPG that has results that you would expect of people not going prepared. And that's where I kind of think it's not. I don't think it's edgy. I think it's more of a real look at a fantasy world in a lot of cases, because it doesn't Goblin Slayer isn't really trying to be edgy. It seems more natural. It seems more like what would actually happen. And like the Goblin Slayer himself, he's not like an edgy guy. I know there's only the one episode out. There's probably gonna be a bunch of people that only know it from this first episode, but I'll tell you, he's actually not edgy. He's actually extremely polite. The goblin, he just hates goblins because goblins are scum. And actually part of it that I was laughing about when I saw in the Twitter responses of people like this perpetuates rape culture and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if you know this, but the only people doing that in Goblins are the goblins, and they're depicted as, as garbage creatures that don't deserve to live. And the main character wants to drive these, marauding man killers and women rapist creatures into extinction. And that's you'd think you'd be on his side at that point of him seeing him do all these things, and the Goblin Slayer is just like, I don't want these things to live. They don't deserve to live, and he just pummels them all to death, slaughters them, sets them on fire. We don't like things that rape and murder, and that's one of the things the Goblin Slayer is he's taking care of. So the episode itself, I thought had a lot of good action. I like the realism RPG part to it. It's cool to see like super powered fantasy things where characters have all these crazy abilities and you get like unreal fights and intensity, and then you have them like dudes doing superhuman things and all these fun like stuff in fantasy style, something like Fairy Tale or Black Clover, where they're pretty much super individuals that are able to do ultra ridiculous things. But it's also cool to get back to something like Goblin Slayer, where even though, I mean, the closest you have some characters who are enhanced humans in terms of strength, they don't really have powers other than magic people, but the magic people have it more of uh, like a RPG style kind of set of spells. They're not super OP magicians, and a lot of the way that they kill the goblins and stuff is through like strategy and traps and like setting stuff up, knowing how they operate and everything like this. And that's pretty cool about this. So tell me what you think about Goblin Slayer in the comments below. I've been really looking forward to this anime since it got announced. I'm happy that the animation of it was pretty solid. I'm happy that it's getting a pretty firm response. People seem to be liking it, and I gotta say, all these people crying about it on Twitter and stuff, it's only gonna get more people watching it because people are like, oh shit, what is this? Let me go check it out. And then they watch it and they're like, damn, this was pretty awesome. I'm gonna keep following it. So, yeah, if you like my content, maybe check out the rest of my stuff. I do mostly manga stuff, Fairy Tail Eden Zero Black Clover. Hopefully, Gambler's Parade. I'm gonna put out the review of that later today. Um, I feel like this video is gonna come out not on the same day that I put out Gambler's Parade. Whichever one comes out first, it's gonna look weird. And I do anime stuff, Fairy Tail anime, Goblin Slayer, Radiance. I'm looking some more to add to the roster. Uh, and if you're subscribed, thank you very much. If you aren't subscribed, I would appreciate if you would subscribe. And like I said, if you enjoy my content, maybe check out my other videos. Give me a thumbs up if you think I earned it in the video. If you like this video enough. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening.